We're live now.
All right. Good afternoon, mga ka-Pix Pro. It's alas Pix Pro na. 5 p.m. on the dot.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello,
Happy
VP
Friday.
Juana, VP.
Hi, good afternoon,
Good
everyone.
afternoon.
Hello, VP Francie. So very exciting. We have a very exciting topic for today, and we're very excited to introduce to you our one of our tech partner, which is for this week we have 𝐼Traverse. So thank you very much, May, for accommodating our request for your slot this week for our Kwentuhang Cybersecurity. So, sa mga viewers natin, so I think they're just joining us.
Yes,
Let's
right now we have 11 viewers, so let's just wait for more. We have the first greeter, si Sir Christopher Sean. Good afternoon po.
Hi, good afternoon, mga suki ng ka-Pix Pro.
Also, we have
Cybersecurity.
someone viewing from UAE, Sir 𝐂𝐩𝐩𝐿𝐴. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Miss May, asan yung mga pangbata natin from 𝐼Traverse? Good afternoon sa team 𝐼Traverse.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, May. Good afternoon. So yeah, we're just waiting for some of the viewers to join us before we introduce our speaker and our topic for this afternoon. But definitely, they will learn a lot from today's Kwentuhang Cybersecurity, brought to you by Pix Pro.
Viewers now. Good afternoon sa mga viewers na nagko-comment. So good afternoon, Sir Alex, Myran, Mel. Good afternoon, everyone.
Napapansin nila puro tayo girls dito sa NCR, okay, with our special guest here, Daryl. But yeah, girl power. Ooh.
Woman, all year month, all year.
Oo nga eh. Hanggang April, hanggang May. All year. All year. A shout out sa mga ex-Pix Pro namin, NCR.
Shout out sa inyo guys. We miss you.
We miss you guys.
Good afternoon, VP Ruby.
Hi, VP Ruby. Thank you for watching us this afternoon.
Hi, VP Ruby. Good afternoon.
Diyan na rin si Sir Wendell nanonood. Good afternoon, Boss Wendell.
Good afternoon.
Uy, Boss Wendell, hi.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon.
Ayan, so right now po, we have 44 viewers.
All right, so we can already start our introductions. All right, so nasabi nga namin, we are fortunate to have 𝐼Traverse to host our Kwentuhang Cybersecurity for today. So shout out kay Sir Wendell. Thank you very much sa pagpapahiram mo ng speaker natin for today. So we have a very interesting topic for this afternoon. So we will discuss the importance of safeguarding vulnerable mobile applications, okay, along the increasing tide of cyber threats. So I think maraming nakaka-relate dito, right? Because most of us are already like using our mobile phones, and this is where we do our online banking, and most of our applications, even at work, we use our phones. So I think this is a very, very relevant discussion for you viewers to understand how can we protect those cyber threats in the mobile world, right? So what we will be discussing this afternoon, as will be shared by our esteemed speaker for today, coming from Build 38. Yeah. So later on, VP Francie will be introducing our speaker, and he will be sharing some valuable insights into the current state of mobile app security, the threats targeting mobile apps, and why it is critical to be protected. Okay. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to VP Francie to introduce our speaker.
May audible. Rinig niyo ba?
Yes, yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, VP Carm. So, of course, we would like to introduce our speaker, none other than Mr. Daryl Ko of Build 38. Mr. Daryl Ko is a seasoned cybersecurity professional with over a decade of experience in the diverse sector of IT, mobile technology, cybersecurity, digital forensic, and incident response. So currently, Mr. Daryl Ko plays a vital role as a sales director of Build 38 in APAC region. So they are providing a next-gen solution ensuring robust security and protection for mobile applications. So primarily, the business focuses on the mobile application. Am I right, Mr. Daryl?
That's right. Thanks, VP Fancy. Thank you for your introduction.
Welcome, Sir Daryl. Thank you so much for accommodating our request to be our speaker.
No problem. Happy to be here. Oh, is she?
No, I think she got frozen.
Yes.
Yes. So thank you very much, VP Francie, for that introduction of Daryl. So yeah, Daryl, over to you.
All right.
Our audience are excited now to hear what we have in store for them.
Of course. So thank you so much. Let me share my screen and we can begin. Right. So please let me know once you are able to see my screen.
Yes.
Perfect.
We
So
can view it now.
perfect. Thank you. So as mentioned, the presentation today will be mainly on mobile application security, and with regards to the new threats, new landscape, some of the common problems that we're seeing being faced everywhere. And like mentioned by earlier on, so it's very common, it's mobile applications are being used every day by everyone, regardless of the device you're using, whether it's new, it's old, everyone uses a mobile application. So similar to what you guys are actually using to view the live session as well on Facebook, it's through a mobile application as well. So a little bit about our company. We are founded in 2018, but we are a spin-off from a mobile security giant called 𝐀𝐩𝐩𝐿 that has just celebrated 170 years of security experience. So similar to them, we have our headquarters in Germany, Munich, and we do have our offices in Barcelona and here in Singapore, where I'm based at. In terms of customer references, we do have them in EMEA, APAC, LATAM, in the banking, in digital identity, with government, healthcare, automotive, and ticketing. And of course, we have our investors from 𝐀𝐩𝐩 Capital, 𝐒capital VC, and the latest one, which will be Tikehau Capital. So as a security company, we do go through extensive tests as well. So we have gone through the likes of like UL, we've done our GDPR, because I think that is crucial with regards to companies from Europe. We've done our PCI software certifications for our customers, and we've gotten our first customer with the latest PCI MPOC certification. And we will talk a little bit about that later on in the presentation itself. So in terms of customer references and footprint, we have them in more than four continents, more than 50 customers, 3 cloud locations, and with more than 200 million active endpoints protected. And in terms of coverage, we have more than 5,000 different devices being cataloged itself. So why do we do this? It's with the risk of rising mobile application attacks and sophistication. VP Camilla mentioned early on as well, there are new trends, new attackers, be it through Viber, through WhatsApp, through SMS, through calls itself. So it's a huge risk for everyone. There are new vulnerabilities that are happening on a daily basis. So security teams do have to keep up to them. And it's not just the magnitude of applications being installed. And at average, it's to 80 applications for everyone. But it's also on the diversity of the different devices itself. There you have Samsung, you have Apple, Vivo, Xiaomi, Huawei, and goes on and on. So, and attackers do go through different ways and different methods to attack itself. So it's a rising cost, not just for companies, but through individuals as well. So what are the risks? There's risk of losing data for companies. There's the image, you do lose money. There's confidentiality data loss as well. And there's privacy loss as well, where you lose that. So just an example of what happens and what has been happening itself. So between the threats itself, whether it's large or small, we have seen the likes like Facebook Messenger was breached in 2021, Revolut, a cash, I would say a banking application, money transfer was in 2023, and Move It is for a data transfer application that was breached last year. So it doesn't matter, it's big or small, attacks happen every day. It's only a matter of when is it discovered. So in terms of maturity, we have seen the likes of the whole scale. So there are companies who don't really have any awareness, all the way down to companies where they invest into being an excellent company. So we really like to see, companies and everyone moving towards the right side of the graph itself. And in terms of mobile application attacks, so there is a combination of three different, I would say, attack platforms. So it's not just on the application or the device itself. And people will be talking through the attack networks or even through the APIs itself. Then is the connectivity between an application to another application itself. So attackers will be trying different ways and different methods. It could be through social engineering, through phishing campaigns. So I think it's quite simple to say that, if you were to receive, let's say, an SMS saying that, you have won a first-class ticket from Philippines Airlines, most people will be clicking in to that link and, putting in your credentials itself without realizing that it could be fraudulent or it could be an attacker's way of trying to get your sensitive information or your credentials could be your banking app or through any of your sensitive information itself. So these sophistications get more and more advanced. VP Camilla just mentioned that she was getting so much attacks on Viber itself that she actually did not install it for one of the numbers itself. So it's common, and we do have to be aware of things that are happening in the current trends, the current landscape itself. So part of the evolution of cybersecurity resilience, we do actually learn a lot from the NIST cybersecurity framework, and that has changed to 2.0 recently with the addition of governance. So you need to know how to actually comply with it and what are the things you need to do based on the checklist in a way. So let me move this. In terms of recovery, identify, protect, detect, response, and govern. And that is based on the NIST Attack Framework 2.0. So some of the things you need to do. So based on hardening, you need to continuously harden and personalize the app. So because there are new OSs, there are new devices, so there's a continuous integration that you need to do. You need to minimize your attack surface, because with new threats, new vulnerabilities, new zero-day attacks, and new methods, you need to be able to prevent new scripts or new ways of attack of coming in. Of course, detection is important. You need to be aware when there's an attack that's happening and how to isolate and contain them. And of course, responding will be to able to cut off, to mitigate the breach and to react accordingly to it. And of course, with the learnings that we've had, you need to be able to predict, to be able to understand that for future needs, how do you take in the learnings and how do you go on to actually to govern your and be part of the management strategy itself. And in terms of data protection, 3 main points I would like to highlight. Definitely to protect data at rest, data in transit, and data in use, because it's important to make sure that your personal data being used and different parts of the application are being protected so that you don't leak any personal information, because breaches can happen. If let's say your banking app will be to be breached, there could be monetary loss in there, and nobody wants that to happen. So how to get your app ready? Of course, be ready. You need to be aware of malwares, of fraud, any of the social engineering, and of course, not to download malicious app itself. So one of the initiative by the Singapore government is that we no longer allow users to download third-party apps onto your Android devices itself. So you being able to protect your data, your business and reputation, and of course through pen tests. I think this is quite common in the market itself, whereby you need to understand or you to be able to go through a health check or a risk assessment to be aware of, what are your weaknesses, what are your flaws, and to be able to actually recover or go through steps to actually remediate and protect them. And of course, what are the things you need to do to protect your app? So you need to make sure that it's going to be able to support more than 99% of the device and OS. Integration needs to be flexible. You need to be ahead of new security trends. Of course, reduction of development resources, because development, the SDLC process is going to be lengthy. You need to put in a lot of resources and time. Visibility is definitely important to be aware of new threats, attacks, reducing your threat landscape, as mentioned earlier on. And of course, having security as a concern or a main priority when you have development itself. So speaking of visibility, control is important. You need to make sure that it's going to be interactive when you have a tool to be able to manage, to track, and to monitor any attacks that are happening. So most companies would be having, let's say, a SIEM or a SOC in place to provide the additional security or visibility to that. And of course, you need to be in control by having power to manage that. And of course, that needs to be integrated with your security or even your fraud teams. And of course, reports are important because you need to be able to submit that to key personnel, management people who will be able to take action on the next steps itself, on what to do when that happens. So with regards to MPOC certification, that is a new standard by PCI. So there are a total of 5 domains defining the solution and the testing components. So domains 1 and 2 are related to development and core security, whereas 3, 4, and 5 are related to operations. So this is a little bit of an aggregation for people who are not aware. And in terms of a value proposition from us, this is a little bit of the percentage on how we are able to provide assistance for companies who are going for MPOC certifications. So it's about 50% that we are able to cover for any companies who are going through the certification itself. So that is pretty much all I have. Any questions? From the floor?
Yeah, thank you, Daryl, for that very informative presentation. So let's give the floor to our viewers. For those online, you can post in your questions via our the FB, the Facebook chat, right? So our speaker will be more than willing to answer your questions if you have any. But in the meantime, VP Wana, do you have any questions that
Yeah.
you were
So
able to pick up from the audience a while ago?
yes, yes, Daryl. So while waiting for the audience to throw their questions, I have a question. So, based on your presentation, I just want to know if you have plans of increasing the coverage of your requirements for PCI and MPOC module.
Mm-hmm. Yep, of course. So as mentioned early on, we are right now covering 50% for customers to actually go through the certification. And we do intend to increase for the module 3 up to 100%. So that helps customers or companies or enterprises who are going through the certification itself to go through the assessment much quicker. So based on our security modules or our security features itself, most of the times, or I would say almost 100% of our customers actually go through only a single reiteration of pen test, which means they do not need to go through excessive tests that lengthens their time to go to market itself.
Okay, that's good to know. All right, so I think we have another question from the audience. So from Sir Ben Dakudao, he said, when we say mobile application, does it also cover PWA ACE?
Sorry, PWAs.
Yeah, PWA, and then there's an S.
Not sure what that stands for.
It's like PWA.
Yeah, maybe we can ask Sir Ben whether
For
what's
them,
the
Oh, okay.
what's the
Eh,
meaning of the acronym of PWA?
To evaluate po. Ayun. Progressive web application.
I
okay,
see.
so I've got that. So unfortunately, our main concern is right now strictly on mobile applications, and we do not go to the web app side of things. So it's mainly, I would say, for end consumers because just to give an example whereby companies who develop the web application cannot provide control or enforce certain security measures onto end users. So just to give an example, even here in Singapore, I would say it's similar to Philippines where most people don't change their phones every year or every other year.
Yeah.
And we do have a
Only
huge
after 2
population
years.
of people who are correct. And of course, we do see a huge amount of people who are still using things, devices like iPhone 7, iPhone 8, that are already no longer supported by Apple. So the huge risk of having very outdated device is definitely there. So on our portion, we are covering, we are having also backwards compatibility. For iOS, it will be down to iOS 9.0. And for Android, it's 4.4. So that's like essentially 99.9% of the whole smartphone coverage.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
so
good.
hopefully that answers your question, Sir Ben.
Yeah. So if there's more questions from the audience, please just type it in the comment box. So I just have another question while waiting for the audience. So Daryl, where do I stand in the security maturity curve for this?
I see. So that's a good question. So I think it's important for companies to be even self-aware to, I think it's sort of being mandated, mostly for the banking sector, where by the central bank, you need to go through like quarterly scans and a yearly pen test. So that's where you more or less you start to be aware of where your company stands. So, and of course, you need to be on the lookout of joining communities like the ladies, where we advocate to share a lot of information on new threats, new trends. And I think it's a very good way of sharing information as well, because in cybersecurity, things are not the same every day. So what may be status quo today may be different tomorrow. So it's always important to be up to speed where are new threats, new technologies, new ways of protection. So I think that's important to be aware of and to be able to understand where you stand in your company or where your company stands, because of course, you have to be ahead of your competitor to be able to improve, be it any industry itself. Because just for example, if a bank was breached, I wouldn't want to keep my money in there. And of course, I would want to move my money to the next bank. It's not going to be safe, and nobody wants anything to happen to your bank. So I was sharing earlier on as well with the lady saying that, NPC, the National Commission in Philippines, is actually doing quite a great job in terms of checking for weak applications on the stores, and if there are flaws or weaknesses. They have actually reached out to, like, for example, Google, to tell Google to bring the apps down from the stores, because that may be causing a breach for the company itself, and you may be leaking critical information, because you would have at least, if you are doing transaction in there, you will have your credit card numbers, you may have your bank details, you may have your address, or even your ID numbers itself. So it's important to be aware where you stand and to be aware of new threats, new happenings that are happening in the market itself.
I agree on that. So with your solution, like every when they usually do the updates, the development, since we have a very
Yes, so
yeah, very
correct.
high
So
tech generation now, and like everybody is innovating. So for your solution, are you like, when are you updating? Every when? Is it like every month or
So
something?
I would say that for major updates, we do provide them at least once a quarter. But of course, we would be keeping up to date with the for the likes of like 0 days, keeping up to date with new OSs, new releases, and especially right now, I think I do understand that Huawei is actually gaining quite some traction in Philippines itself. Yeah, a lot of users who are starting to use Huawei because it could be they have good cameras, or the device is good itself in terms of the capabilities. Then of course the coverage needs to be there. So of course we do support not only iOS, Android, we do support for Harmony OS as well.
That's good. There's another question from Edie Arlene. Can you can you check on that, Wana?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so from Edie Arlene, she said, in terms of addressing cybersecurity threats, is it harder to secure our mobile applications compared to securing our company computer systems?
I would have to say it's going to come from a different aspect. So of course, we need to first of all understand for the mobile application, is it an internal app or external app? Of course, external app, having it external, definitely there are a lot of threats associated with it, because the users are usually the weakest link. And if they were to download like malware, they're trying to root or jailbreak the device, threats go along with it. But if in terms of a corporate itself, your devices, your servers, your hardware, because they are under a corporate system, so it's usually much easier to have control over them rather than a mobile application, because you can't control an end user's mobile device. So just to share something that happened recently in one of the banks here in Singapore, was that as part of a upgrade, the bank was not allowing certain applications to be installed on the device, which will not allow the app to work. So some of the apps that were affected and were mentioned that they don't allow were like TikTok, Microsoft Authenticator, even some of the antivirus were actually being blocked. So it's a huge, I would say, risk if you to put in certain steps where you don't allow users to use certain applications that are close to their heart. Like, there are companies, small companies, especially with what happened during COVID, they were using TikTok to do business, to do awareness, to be interacting with the consumers. So, by having that in the way, it's not going to be easy for consumers to be using those applications itself.
And most of the e-commerce platforms are using TikTok, right, Daryl?
That's right. So
Right.
if for a bank who say that, I can't allow TikTok, then
How can they transact?
yes, that's right.
Correct. And so with that, how do you protect the data like used in the app?
So for us, we come in from 3 different ways by data at rest, data in transit, and data in use. So making sure that each component itself, when transactions are happening, we help with our use features like obfuscation. We do with encryption, making sure that devices are secure in 3 different ways. Like we would be checking in the integrity of the credentials, integrity of the user, and integrity of the device. So just to maybe elaborate a bit more, for example, if the device were to be rooted or jailbroken, we would tend to crash the app if it's required, because usually such cases may be leading to GPS spoofing, or the attacker is trying to do like escalations of privileges, which if as a consumer, you shouldn't be a super admin by getting through, because the mobile application is essentially, a door to your backend systems itself. So we would protect in 3 different ways, at rest, in use, and in transit, making sure that all ways are protected, so that, for example, we would even stop like man-in-middle attacks, which is pretty common as well, where they're trying to sniff and pick out the information that is being transacted. So for example, if it's e-commerce, usually what is being transacted is actually money. So that has to be encrypted. That has to be protected.
Okay, so in connection with my question, there's another question from the audience, and he was asking at what level of encryption protection? So does that
I
have
would
any
say,
level?
yeah, it really depends on to what level you need to protect, because I would say that encryption may be a never-ending game itself. So the main point of our solution will be to make it almost uneconomical for any attackers to actually breach or to attack the app. So it's making essentially unbreakable, and to make sure that it's really uneconomical for attackers to actually get in.
There's another question from the audience, from Sir Romeo Ramosa. In your MDM services, are you able to monitor or have an access of some personal details such as images, messages, etc., outside the company or corporate portal?
Okay, so that probably I'll answer that in 2 components. So we may be similar to MDM solutions, or MDM will be in short for mobile device management solutions, but we are actually not. We don't control the device if it's a consumer device. So our main protection actually goes through the application, and we don't have access into the application itself, or sorry, into the device itself. So it's mainly on the consumer app. Okay. Then with regards to getting the pictures and all that, no, we don't take in any personal identifiable information or any PII or CII itself. So what we do have visibility on is only towards the security incidents, which are the attacks that are happening in, and we do allow our customers to have access and control to do incident response, for example, doing a remote wipe or a remote stop on the application itself if there is a breach that happened. So that power is actually given to the given to the customers of ours who have visibility on the portal. So with regards to if they want to see details like the images and all that, usually that will be onto their backend, because that is where their end users information are being held. So what we see is with regards to the security incidents, so they have to map that onto their backend to exactly see who is that person.
So those corporate information stays in the company's
Correct.
okay. All right. Yeah, that makes sense. I think
So,
there are a lot of questions coming in. They're very interested with your
It's definitely interesting because
it's really interesting. Actually, a while ago when we were about to go on live, right? We were already like discussing a lot of things, and you know what's really happening out there, not only in Singapore but in other countries, right? And it's really alarming. And I it's this is also very relevant, you know, to teach your children at home, right? Because for them to like click, like for example, a lot of our kids are like playing games online, and there are like a lot of like banner ads, and those banner ads
yes,
automatically can like download
correct.
something in your phone, and that could be like a backdoor, right?
Yes, definitely. So, there are a lot of cases whereby it's not just on the ads itself. There may be ads being sent through Viber, through SMS, saying that, oh, okay, for example, if you're playing a particular game, like there's a 50% discount, or maybe you'll be able to purchase a legendary item or purchase
Oh, yeah.
coupons or whichever.
Yes,
And if you
yes.
click to it, that may lead to a lot of things like, installing ransomware, malware, not just a backdoor itself, or there may be cases whereby the attackers would have access into your mobile device. So
Yeah.
I think security awareness is important. So I have been a huge advocate, even within my family. My wife is now afraid
Mm.
of clicking to any links, scanning QR codes and all that. So I think something that I throughout my life I have been advocating or sharing is um, for the cybersecurity folks to take a look into CSI Cyber. So for CSI, the series itself, there's like Las Vegas, Miami, and all that. So there is 2 seasons of Cyber where it's really technical to tell people of what are the things that could have happened or could be happening in the market itself.
Sorry, what is that? Sir, what is that? CSI Cyber.
Cyber.
Cyber. Okay. All right. I'll take a look at that. So our audience there, you may wanna watch that.
Yes.
2 seasons.
It,
All
it,
right.
it stops short maybe because it's too technical and too high level, but it's
Oh
very, very
yeah,
good.
yeah. Is it running in Netflix or?
No, it's actually
Uh,
a very old series actually. So where in
ah.
the Philippines you could find it. M- Maybe you could try it.
Yes, I think we do have some questions here, some more from the audience. Okay. So from Resu, okay, the question is what
yeah.
level? Okay, so he has like some prelude to that question, okay, because here in the Philippines, there's a law, the SIM Registration Act, right, to address
Yes.
spamming and all different scams. Question is, what level of secure protection to our mobile phone, or there's a technology to protect our phone from spamming or text scams?
That's a good question. So I mean for the Philippines government is definitely doing a great job in making sure that SIM cards are registered so that you don't get unnecessary scams. And I think there is also like Scam Watch in the Philippines whereby you'll be able to report them and hopefully and the government will be able to take I would say actions accordingly. So
Mm-hmm.
um, it's mainly as a start, when Singapore started that not too long ago. It's mainly to keep reporting and making sure that, the government works with the telco to get those blocked. So it's about being aware, not to click into it or not to open it and just delete and block those numbers. Because as a start, it's important to know that these are harmful to whoever clicks into it. So there is the action plan from the government itself. Just it takes time to actually get that sorted. So please work with the government uh, uh, for that.
All right. Another question. Do you have Play Store services under your MDM?
Okay, so maybe I'll answer that separately as well. So first of all, our solution, it's more of a application shielding or in-app
Can
protection.
you
So our protection
can you
goes
elaborate? Yeah, can you elaborate
needs
on
to be
that?
integrated application itself.
Mhm.
Okay, sure. So we do provide like a software development kit, which is like a mini program that is going to be easily integrated into the application before those get released into the app stores or the Google Play. So we don't control the device itself, but our protection is solely on the application itself.
On
So
the
that
application.
works differently. In a way, the other difference in terms of features, we are, I would say, relatively similar to MDM solutions, but our work is within the application itself. So in a way, the end consumers do not need to download a separate software. But when they download the main software that we're protecting, it's in a way transparent to the end consumers who are actually using those.
All right. So hopefully that answers your question, sir. Okay, so before we go into our greetings, I think we have a lot of questions already raised to Sir Daryl, and hopefully you're not tired of
No,
answering
no,
that
I'm fine,
question.
perfectly fine. You know, it's like I said, you know, I advocate cybersecurity awareness as well. It's not something my
Yes,
company
yes,
provides,
yes.
but it's important for everyone so that, you know, the personal information doesn't get breached because nobody wants to show up in the newspaper saying that something bad has happened, you have lost money and things like this. So I think
Yes,
it's definitely important for everyone to keep up to date because there are new OSs happening every year, new phones, new designs, new ways of tech, new I would say like new vulnerabilities found every day. So I think based on information being provided by vulnerability assessment providers, the average of new vulnerabilities found per day last year was about 30 new vulnerabilities found each day, new on top of the
wow.
old ones. So it's
Just
important.
on mobile phones, is it?
No, the whole
Oh,
generic vulnerability landscape itself.
okay, all
So
right,
it's not just
okay.
on mobile, it's on the network, it's on infrastructure, it's on
Mm-hmm.
everything. So it's not an easy job to keep up to date, especially from the security team. But of course, we must be as aware as possible to make sure that we don't fall into any traps or any scams that are happening.
That's right, that's right, that's right. And we really need to protect our data.
And especially right now, I think most of the older folks like me would have kids, and when kids are actually using mobile device or tablets, if we are not monitoring them, they may be clicking into things that they shouldn't be clicking into.
Yeah. So we have in Pix Pro there we also have this advocacy where we educate students, okay, the young kids. Maybe next time we can invite you also to be a host in one of those sessions.
Of course, more than happy.
Actually, Sir Romeo is asking, is this your product similar to like Citrix? Is it similar to Citrix?
No, not really. We play in a very different field. So like I said, we are in the space of being coined by Gartner. It's either called in-app protection within the application itself or application
Mm,
shielding. So it's like a
okay.
shield for your mobile applications.
Okay. So Romeo, so that differentiates the product of Build 38 against Citrix. So another question from Zeno. Does it protect from SIM swapping attack?
Okay, so let me answer that in a way whereby hopefully that's clear. So I did mention earlier on that we make sure we check against the integrity of the users as well. So upon the initial logged in or initial use of the application itself, we do take note of. We do help the application tie the OS, the device to that login itself. So when that differs, it could be an attacker who's using an emulator or a different device. We can detect that and we would crash the application right away, so that to prevent the access to be granted to the attacker. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah. Okay, for those also in the live audience, if you have further questions, if you want to have like a deep dive discussion with regards to the topic today, you can also send an email, okay, to inquiry@itraverse.asia. Okay, so for those, maybe we can put this in the chat, right? Inquiry@itraverse.asia, yeah, for them to be able to send their inquiries directly to iTraverse if they want to have like a more thorough discussion with regards to what we are discussing today. Okay, so I think before we go into a wrap of this discussion, this is something very relevant for us to close. What ED Arlene asked is with regards to as an ordinary mobile phone user, what do you suggest would be the fundamental cybersecurity hygiene or practice that I should always remember first and foremost to avoid compromising not only my device but also the data that are stored in it? Oh, isn't it a good question for a close?
Very good. I love that question. So first of all, always keep your phones up to date, regardless of the platform or the device you're using. So whenever the manufacturer provide a software update, please keep it up to date so that the security measures can be in place. Secondly, do not download any third-party apps. Do not root your device. Do not jailbreak your device. And I would say that if there's SMS or any email suspicious ones, don't click into the links. If it's too good to be true, it's not true.
There you go, ED Arlene. So we cannot just be conned by anyone, right? If they're giving you a free ticket, don't accept. There's no free lunch.
Correct.
There's never a free lunch to the scammers. Okay, so we'll go into our agree. Thank you very much, Daryl, for a very informative session, and I think we have addressed a lot of questions from our audience. Okay, I think they're very engaging, and there are still like some questions, but we'll probably course it through the inquiry page of iTraverse for you to be able to have that one-on-one discussion with our viewers as well. So we can like do our greetings, VP Francie, VP Wana, before we go to our closing. Let's just greet our audience for today.
No, I'm so sorry I
for our
got disconnected.
Yeah, go ahead, Ma'am Juana. You're back. But yeah, before we actually wrap the session for today's Kwentuhang Cybersecurity, of course, we would like to greet our audience. We have our PixPro La Union. Recently, we had an activity there. So we have audience from PixPro La Union.
Welcome, PixPro La Union, to the growing family of PixPro. So they'll be, I believe they'll be hosting also one of the sessions here in Kwentuhang Cybersecurity. So we're looking forward to that.
Yes,
Else we have here. Yeah, we also have audience from Aurora Province, Sherwin. Yeah, good afternoon.
And I
So see,
cannot
Daryl,
see the background.
this is the reach of Pix Pro, you know, this is national level.
I know.
So we're not
Yeah.
just, you know, the audience are coming from different regions, and that's like from the far north of the Philippines up to
Mm-hmm.
the far south of the Philippines. So just imagine how much we are, you know, um,
The
educating them,
coverage, yes.
and you know, for them to be able to be, you know, familiar with all those threats that they need to watch out for. And most of this, okay, some are like students, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they can also apply this in their, you know, in the academe, right? So it's very powerful.
Yes. Thank you for arranging this, and happy to be here.
Yes, yes, yes. So we
Thank you
have
so much, Daria, for sharing your solutions with every one of us.
yeah. So we do have you know, every week. So for those who are in our audience, uh just for those who are not yet, okay, a member of Pix Pro, please sign up. Um we have you know, members already across Philippines and even from outside Philippines. I see here there are like some people uh, coming from different countries like Dubai. Yeah, so that's how international we are right now in terms of our reach.
That's good.
So we are accepting you know, registrations to be a member of our PixPro family. And for our tech partners, thank you very much. We have some tech partners lined up for the next few weeks. So for this week, we have iTraverse. Next, I think we have Fujitsu. And then we have MDI. Who else do we have in our lineup? VP Frenzy. So every Friday, so this is every Friday, 5 o'clock, Kwentuhan Cybersecurity. Of course, our BOD are also sponsoring the weekly discussions, the weekly Kwentuhan Cybersecurity. So please stay tuned for all the updates in our FB page. Our Facebook page is Philippine Institute of Cybersecurity Professionals, right? So that's the Facebook page of PixPro. So please like and subscribe. This is a valid app, so you can like install this, and it's not restricted. So you can while you know, while you're driving, so you can like watch us every end of the week for you to get informed. Yeah. So, VP Francie, so let's do our key takeaways for today to our audience. So, what have you learned for today? Ano to, recitation? What what can
Recitation
you
ba na to?
impart? What can you impart
Yeah.
to our audience on, you know, the learnings that we have gathered today? Just to summarize, brief lang.
Paano pagka wala BP carbs? De, joke lang. No, no, no. Actually, of course, mobile kasi very reachable siya. Aside from us, syempre tayo working tayo. This is actually a necessity for us, right? But mostly, I think students, the children, what we really need is to actually secure all of us, especially the data. Of course, yung mobile banking natin, right? The details there. It is really important because it has the personal data, right? So we really need to actually take care of our personal belongings. Yun nga kapag nagpupunta tayo sa mga restaurant, right? Take care of your belongings. So our data is very essential to us. So I think the mobile is the pinakamalapit na backdoor kung saan tayo yung pwedeng manakawan.
And to your
Yeah.
point, VP Frenzy, 'di ba? Kung before, if we relate it to our personal belonging, if before we are protective of our bag, if before we are
Yes.
protective of our wallet, then the more that we need to be protective of our mobile phones and the
Yes.
applications that we install in our mobile phones, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Prevention
Because
first.
yes, and that may be the cause of stealing.
Mhm.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah,
And just make
our
sure na
hard-earned
pag may
money
mobile
might
app
be
ka,
stolen.
yes, at saka especially those who are using mobile banking app, diba? You have to really protect your banking app, your cell phones. Don't save your passwords there because once it's stolen, they know that your password is just on your notes. Guilty. I'm
Yes,
guilty to
correct.
that.
Yes,
So, ayan.
because
And
we always put that in our in sticky notes natin sa mobile phone, right? Because for us
Correct.
to remember, because we are like prompted every time. Though we are prompted like for the banks, right? We are prompted that you need to like um refresh your
The
password, right?
passwords,
Yeah,
yes.
reset your password every now and then, right? 6 months, yeah. And then you just don't rely on just password, right? So there are like multi-factor authentications, right? Whether it be, another secured email that they can also alert. Okay, and then also SMS, but also be mindful on who's sending the SMS because this happened to me. Good thing I did not click that. Okay, because when I was like doing this cash in, right, in the mobile banking app, I was doing a cash in, and then it's supposed to be that the SMS that I should be receiving is from the bank, but I received an SMS giving me an OTP from a different number. So don't be fooled on that, right? Even though it's because it's very timely. When I did the cash in, and then it prompted me already, oh, this is the OTP. Yeah. So but it's coming from a different number. It's not from the bank, right? So be careful of that because there are a lot of scammers with regards to faking the
correct. Be
OTP.
on that one. So
Yes,
everyone
yes, yes.
should be vigilant and you should be very careful. Especially don't just click any links that you receive through SMS, through your emails. Don't just click it. Be wise and especially be wise on the websites that you're visiting because there's a lot of websites also that's been copying, especially the government websites, right? So they're duplicating it, they're copying it. You thought you're in the right website, but then again, once you clicked it, you're on the different site now.
Yes, yes, yes. So yeah. So
We have
mga
3 minutes before we end the
yeah, we have
call.
3 minutes mga ka-Pix Pro. Song
Any
and
last
dance.
any last words, Daryl? So thank you again. Thank you very much
Maybe
for
Miss May,
sponsoring
do you
us
have
here.
any Miss May, do you have any announcement that you would like to share to our audience?
Okay, wala naman po announcement. I just would like to take this opportunity to again to thank the NCR Peaks Pro team for having us and for giving us a platform to help in our advocacy of keeping the cyberspace safe for everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Miss May. Thank you very much.
And I Trevor, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Ma'am
you.
May.
Thank you,
Thank you,
I
Boss
Trevor.
Wendell.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
thank you,
thank you
Sir Wendell.
to our friends who keep on watching us every Friday. And si Presley also is watching in our live.
Hi,
Yeah.
Presley.
So,
See you next Friday.
See you on Friday. Yes, press release.
see you. Anything else? VP Francie, Daryl, do you have any last words before we end the live?
No, I think I'm good. You ladies covered pretty much. So really, it's for everyone to be aware and not to click into anything they see and be more suspicious in a way whereby things may not be what they are.
Yeah, always be suspicious.
Yes.
Correct. Mas mabuti na yung praning kesa hindi, di ba?
I know. Oh, yes, 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 yes.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Again,
So
thank you
let's
so
do
much.
this, guys.
Yeah.
Let's close the session. Thank you very much, mga Kapix Pro. See you again next Friday. Sino ba may mas magandang internet sa atin? Because we always say this and hindi tayo lagi sabay-sabay because of internet connection or dahil bulol tayo lahat.
Doon
Yeah,
tayo
so
sa
we're gonna
bulol tayo
end this
lahat.
call with our ending greeting. So Darius, you can
Yes.
speak. Please join us. So we will say happy lang walang weekend. In
So
3, 2, 1.
that's our parting sentence every time we end our Kwentuhang Cybersecurity every Friday. Since it's a
Okay.
Friday, right,
Yeah.
Daryl? So
It
we
is.
always say happy lang walang weekend. Okay? All
Okay.
together in 3, 2, 1. Happy lang
lang walang weekend.
walang
Weekend.
weekend.
Thank you, mga kapitbahay.
Bye. Thank
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 you.
you. Thank you, Pix Pro.
Bye-bye.
Bye.